Benji. I'm 23 years old. I'm from Delaware County. I'm very grateful to be here today, coming from a perspective of someone who has mental illness but has also lost a loved one to suicide. My battle with an anxiety disorder really began on my first day of preschool when I threw a tantrum when my parents tried to leave. At 15, I started experiencing symptoms of depression. I was in an environment where academics and getting into college was an enormous pressure for me. And I didn't understand that what I was going through was an illness. I didn't know what depression was. But I did know that the feelings I was experiencing were embarrassing, and I should be ashamed of them, and that they were a sign of weakness. So instead of reaching out for help, I decided to join every extracurricular activity I could and get the best grades I could, because I thought if I looked perfect on the outside, nobody would question how I was doing inside. Then an event happened when I was 17 that altered the course of my life. In high school, I lived across the street from my cousin. He was your typical high school guy. He was well-liked, he was smart, he loved sports. He had gotten into his dream school, Penn State. Unfortunately, my cousin also struggled with mental illness, and he completed suicide 3 days after he graduated from high school. My cousin's death really brought my own issues to a head. It was the first time I began to fully understand the stigma associated with mental illness. As soon as it happened, my immediate family did everything they could to sweep the topic under the rug. I was unable to process the death because no one would talk about it in my family, and I developed post-traumatic stress disorder. My parents weren't talking about it. My friends had no clue what to say to me as far as suicide went. And because nobody knew what to talk about, everything was ignored and neglected. I really needed help, but I had no clue how to ask for it. Now as an adult, I can see the stigma on more of a societal level. I know I had health class for 2 years in high school. I remember watching footage of horrific drunk driving accidents. I remember a documentary about being addicted to crystal meth. But I don't remember talking about depression, and I especially don't remember hearing the word suicide. And that makes me upset because mental health issues are so common, and for teenagers, a lot of times adolescence is the first time you're experiencing these issues in your life. And how can we expect youth to get help, and how can we expect to get treatment and prevent suicide if youth don't even know what these illnesses are or know that they exist? I obviously struggled to find my own way in high school. There was a good 5 or 6 years where I was severely depressed, where I was having regular thoughts of suicide. I am so fortunate and so grateful to have made it through that time in my life and to have achieved recovery. And because of that, I've decided to devote myself to raising mental health awareness among youth. So I now speak for the Mind in Your Mind Foundation, which is a foundation based out of Montgomery County. And they provide education to schools and community groups free of charge. So every week, even just last night, I got to talk to a group of Boy Scouts about mental health, providing that crucial information, and sadly, sometimes I'm the only person that gets to talk to these kids about mental health the whole time they're in high school. My goal now is that every person who's like me when they were 15 and starting to go through these symptoms knows that there's treatment, know that they can recover, and feel more comfortable getting help. But my ultimate goal is that there are no more stories like my cousin's. Thank you.